Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Roman Reigns and the Usos dominated WWE as the Bloodline, years after the Wild Samoans and other associates established the Anoa'i family as a pro wrestling dynasty. Reigns and his various family members on the WWE roster have gone through growing pains to get where they are. Amid an interesting period for the faction, Roman has just surprised the WWE Universe with cold remarks. The original tribal chief and the Usos, led by Paul Heyman, officially formed the Bloodline in July 2021 after a brutal feud between the cousins. The 2020 Hell in a Cell PLD opened with Roman defeating G inside the cell, under I Quit rules. The match went almost 30 minutes, and Jay quit to save Jimmy from a guillotine. After the match, the Wild Samoans came to the stage as Roman was endorsed by his father and uncle in a major way. The Bloodline brutality at Hell in a Cell will be covered on Sunday's new episode of WWE's Greatest Moments on A&E. Reigns, the Usos, and Heyman were all interviewed, as seen in the preview clip below. At one point, Reigns made a chilling observation about the match and the family violence. Money in the Bank 2021 was the first big PLD after the trio officially formed the Bloodline. The kickoff pre-show saw the Usos dethrone the Mysterios for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, while Reigns retained the Universal Championship over Edge in the main event. Roman Reigns, along with CM Punk, is currently feuding with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman, but Roman's schedule remains up in the air. The WrestleMania 41 loss marked Reigns' third match of 2025, after he worked 6 bouts last year. As of this writing, WWE has not advertised the head of the table for any upcoming events on its calendar. However, he is featured prominently on promotional material for the two-night SummerSlam on August 2 and August 3. As we've seen in recent months, Reigns is expected to continue making the occasional surprise appearance. Depending on storyline developments, WWE will also announce dates for the Bloodline boss when they're confirmed. The tension within the Bloodline has reached a disturbing peak, and WWE Universe witnessed a moment this week that no one could have anticipated. In a segment that blurred the line between storyline and emotional reality, Roman Reigns, often called the Tribal Chief, broke his silence with a chilling, calculated message regarding the internal violence that has recently erupted within the Anoa'i dynasty. With WrestleMania 41 still echoing in the minds of fans, and the chaos that unfolded between Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and the recently aligned Jacob Fatu continuing to shake the core of WWE, Roman Reigns emerged backstage following SmackDown's closing moments and addressed the situation in a haunting pre-recorded promo. Clad in all black, his head bowed beneath his hood, Reigns was seated in a darkened room with just a single spotlight highlighting his presence. The room was silent, the only sound the low hum of air conditioning until Reigns slowly looked up. The intensity in his eyes was unmistakable. And then, with a measured tone, he delivered what can only be described as the most unsettling statement of his storied career. "I tried to save them. I tried to save all of them. But you can't save family from themselves when all they want is blood." The words hung heavy. Reigns didn't blink, didn't move. He continued, "When I stepped away, I told them, don't forget who we are. Don't forget what I built. But power does something to men who never earned it. Solo, Tama, you've turned this into a battlefield. Not for gold, not for glory, but for the pure thrill of violence. You think this is the Bloodline? No. This is betrayal. This is disgrace." The WWE Universe had speculated for weeks about Roman's state of mind following WrestleMania 41. With Solo Sikoa effectively seizing control and the addition of Tama Tonga intensifying the group's aggression, Roman had remained noticeably absent from television, leaving many wondering whether the faction's implosion would draw him back. But it wasn't just the violence. It was the emotional devastation that truly resonated. In the weeks after Reigns' loss at WrestleMania, Solo's brutal beatdown of Jimmy Uso on SmackDown, the sudden backstage ambush of Paul Heyman, and Tama Tonga's unrelenting attacks on Jey Uso had painted a picture of a group spiraling into chaos. And now, with Jacob Fatu's cryptic actions suggesting he might be Solo's enforcer rather than Reigns' loyal cousin, the faction appears irreparably broken. Family means nothing when fists speak louder than loyalty, Reigns said coldly. I see you, Solo. I see what you've become. And I see who's been whispering in your ear. You think you're the heir, the new tribal chief. You're not even a leader. You're a monster unleashed by your own insecurity. The comments were bold. Solo Sikoa, who has grown more violent and unpredictable, had recently declared himself the head of the table in Roman's absence. Backed by Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, he's dismantled the traditional order of the Bloodline, casting aside any allegiance to the legacy that Roman Reigns claimed to protect. But Roman wasn't done. He leaned forward, voice now barely above a whisper. You're not leading the Bloodline. You're poisoning it. You're turning brothers against each other. And that ends when I return. The intensity in those final words left the WWE universe shaken. It was the first clear signal that Roman Reigns was preparing for war, not for titles, not for recognition, but to restore what he believes is the rightful honor of his family's name. But there was something more unsettling beneath the surface. Reigns didn't appear angry. He appeared haunted. As if the family violence wasn't just physical, it was emotional, deep, generational. I watched uncles fight. I watched cousins go to war. I watched our fathers tear each other apart in locker rooms, rings, and backyards. I said I'd be the one to break that curse. I said I'd build something stronger. But maybe we're cursed to bleed. He then referenced a moment from his past, rarely discussed on WWE programming. Do you know what my father told me the night I signed with WWE? Be the one who wins it. Not the matches. Not the rivalries. The cycle. The violence. The need to prove yourself with pain. And I tried. I made you all rich. I made you famous. But still, your fists can't stay down. The screen flickered slightly. Reigns looked into the camera, jaw clenched. There's still time to choose what kind of family we want to be. But if you choose war, then I'll give you a war your sons will have to avenge. The screen cut to black. It was a masterclass of tension. And the message was clear. Reigns is coming back not just to reclaim control, but to address the deep-rooted dysfunction that now threatens to rip his family's legacy apart forever. Backstage reports from WWE insiders suggest that this story is only beginning. One source close to creative hinted that this is more than a simple power struggle. Roman doesn't just want revenge. He wants transformation. He wants this family to look in the mirror and confront what they've become. Solo Sikoa's camp responded indirectly on WWE's digital platforms later that night. In a grim video posted to WWE's Instagram, Solo is seen seated in the locker room with Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga flanking him. He stared into the camera and said one sentence. Sometimes the table has to be flipped to remind everyone who eats last. It was a stark response. No remorse, no apology, just a warning. And so, the Bloodline civil war is no longer just about control. It's about legacy, trauma, and redemption. Paul Heyman, who has not been seen since being stretchered out following a backstage attack weeks ago, posted a rare tweet in response to Reigns' statement. I always feared this day would come. Roman tried to be the one. But blood always spills. Always. With SummerSlam approaching, speculation is running rampant that Roman Reigns will return not for a title match, but to face Solo Sikoa in what many are calling a tribal reckoning. The question is no longer if Reigns returns, but what form he'll take when he does. Will he be the leader seeking to unify his family? Or a war-hardened king ready to burn down everything he once built? Only one thing is certain. The WWE universe is witnessing the most emotionally charged, volatile, and personal storyline in Bloodline history. What began as a dominant faction has evolved into a Shakespearean tragedy, a family devouring itself from within, with Roman Reigns standing at the edge of its ashes. And as his final words echo in the minds of fans across the globe, "If you choose war, then I'll give you a war your sons will have to avenge." We are reminded that in the world of WWE, sometimes the most devastating rivalries are not between strangers, but between blood. Stay tuned. The tribal chief may be returning, but the man behind the crown may be more dangerous and more broken than ever before. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.